chat section. Yes, it will be the PPB class, but you can ask me any kind of doubt regarding the JAIIB examination, the preparation, or whatsoever. Okay, this lecture is live on YouTube also. So all of you who are watching me on the YouTube, uh, for all of them, I would like to say that this particular lecture will serve as a benchmark for you in order to decide that whether to go for the paid classes, or for that matter, what kind of framework we keep in our paid classes so as to make an informed decision while purchasing a particular course. And yes, you can also ask me any doubt you have on the YouTube. All those participants who are there on YouTube, you can also ask any kind of doubt regarding the JAIIB examination. And specifically, when we talk about PPB, I'll be discussing that in detail. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm assuming that no doubts are there from your end, but uh, if even if they are after this particular lecture, then also you can contact us. I'll be telling you that as well. Okay, so let's begin our session with the orientation class, or the demo class, you can say, for the momentum batch for the examination which we are targeting, being the JAIIB May 2026. Okay, so this is the principles and practices of banking's demo class. But first and foremost, let me give you an overview regarding the JAIIB examination. So when we talk about the JAIIB May 2026 exam, you will find one important aspect which is ongoing right now in the minds of many bankers, that the examination date will be what should be the target date of ours, that by this particular date we must be prepared. Okay, so I would say that most probably in the first week of May and IFS. Okay, so the first exam, all of you must be knowing that IE and IFS, Indian Economy and Indian Financial System, is the first examination. After that, we have the examination of PPB, that is Principles and Practices of Banking. Then the third one being AFM, the accounts paper as we call it, and the fourth being RBWM. In this particular batch, that is the momentum batch, we will be covering each and every subjects in greater detail, so that you need not to go anywhere else for your preparation. And when we talk about the overall aspect, the marks distribution, so be very much clear in this thing. 100 marks are at stake for each subject. Right now, there is no negative marking as of November 2025 examination, but nobody knows exactly whether they will introduce or not the negative marking. But what we can ensure is the level of preparation, so that we will try to keep of high quality. So 100 marks of each paper that you need to secure. And when we talk about the qualifying marks will be 50 marks. Okay, so all of you who are giving this examination of JAIIB for the first time, for them one particular leverage is there. If you are attempting the JAIIB examination in single attempt, fine, in one attempt only, then you can afford to have 45 marks also in one or two subjects, but the overall score should be 200 marks. Fine, overall means subject 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 should be 200 marks, and the minimum marks in all the subjects should be 45 marks when you are counting the single attempt. Fine, supposingly you have given the exam in 2024 where you have qualified the two subjects, and now in 2026 you will be qualifying the remaining two subjects with 45 marks and another subject with 60 marks. This won't be counted. Okay, and on the other hand, when we talk about the students who are preparing for 2026 only, and all the four subjects they have secured like this marks: 45, 46, 47, and lastly 80. So they are being deemed as qualified, right? So JAB you have cleared if you are scoring marks like this as well. So minimum marks 45 and the total should be greater than or equal to 200 marks that you must maintain in your mind. Okay, so this was just an overview of your JAB examination. Slowly and gradually, as we will be conducting the classes, you will come to know more about this particular exam process. Today, being the class of your PPB, that is Principles and Practices of Banking, let me just highlight some important pointers regarding your PPB subject. First and the foremost, being it is the lengthiest subject. Fine, the lengthiest subject of all. It is having more than 50 units, and more than that, the exhaustive coverage is there of each particular aspect. So this makes altogether this subject very much daunting. The syllabus to cover is huge. Secondly, for all those seasoned bankers who are in the banking industry for, let's suppose, more than 3 4 years, they will find this subject much more doable, because in various modules we will find the interrelation of all those aspects only which you are covering as a banker, which you are doing as a banker. So when we talk about the third aspect, that whenever the examination is over, we ponder upon this thing, that why PPB is considered as the most difficult subject at times. Although IIFS has that particular tag in the JAB exam market, but the PPB is also considered to be difficult by certain bankers. Reason is very much simple. Here they ask some tricky case studies. Right? Case studies heavy subject you can call the Principles and Practices of Banking. And overall, when we talk about the subject coverage, it starts from module A, then B, then C, and D, as the other subjects are also having the same type of nature. In module A, you will be talking about the deposits, right? Deposits, all those deposits, the terms, the terminologies, the rules, regulations, forex, all these which pertain to the deposits department or the segment of banking. Module B talks about the advances section or the credit facilities. They are present there in the banks. Along with that, certain schemes are also there which are not directly linked to the credit domain, but yes, they can ask you from the basics of banking operation. Module C talks about the digital products. Fine, more or less, you can categorize this into digital products only. Module D, the most important module I feel, because here ethics is being asked. And when we talk about ethics, it is not taught in the banks that often as compared to the practical exposure in module A and B. But yes, ethics is the most important one. Why I'm telling you this? Because normally we tend to ignore this particular module, and we have seen that most of the bankers who say that this examination is tricky or we are unable to crack this examination, the reason being they rely heavily on module A and B. There is no doubt about that. Module A and B are the most important ones, but when we talk about the module C and especially module D, these are scoring. Fine. So if you ignore these modules and only prepare for module A and B, then you won't be able to crack this exam with ease. Right? So low hanging fruits, you can say, they are your module C and D. So focus here as well. Fine. So now let's move on to the particular slide which we have in front of us, that what type of questions are asked. Right? Types of questions, very important to know upfront, because ultimately sitting in the examination hall, you will be answering these questions only. So if you know upfront that yes, these are the types of questions, then things become much more easy for us. So first and foremost, it will be case study based questions. Okay, you will find good number of case study based questions, be it of 4 to 5 liner case study, or for that matter, 10 to 15 liner case studies. The case studies can be smaller ones or the larger case studies, but they will ask you the case study based question. No doubt about this thing. Every time they ask good amount of case study based question, and they are linked with the real life, or for that matter the real banking life. The scope of asking the banking case studies is huge in your Principles and Practices of Banking. Second important aspect is that this subject is heavily based on data. You will find good amount of data in your module A. Various tables are there where you have to learn different types of limits. You have to retain different types of limits in various accounts, saving bank account, current account, then types of organizations we will be seeing, proprietorship firm, partnership firm, what laws are being governed in the particular domain, whatever domain we will be studying. Plus, along with that, there will be certain important organization. Like in RBI, we have various schemes also. And so data heavy in module A. Similarly, module B, there are various tables given, right, for the fund based, non-fund based facilities, how we will be calculating those. So the data you have to remember percentages. Then in module D, there is no such data, but yes, interpretation is required, conceptual clarity is required there. Right? So mostly the database questions, they will be from module A and B. And be rest assured, module A and B form more than 60% of your syllabus. Multiple statement based question, this is a norm for all the subjects. Now IIBF is not asking the simple one liner questions only. Fine, there is a specific categorization of marks, zero point 0.5 marker, then we have 1 marker questions, and then we have the 2 marker questions. So in zero point 0.5 marker questions also, they are not asking the simple one liner. Fine, some tricky statements are given, but in 1 marker, 2 marker, always they ask the multiple statement based questions or the case study based questions. So yes, multiple statement based questions they will ask not only for PPB, but in IFS, RBWM, as well as AFM. Then comes the formula based questions. Do not make this mistake. I'm telling you, on the very first day of your preparation, do not make this mistake that we need not to practice any kind of numericals in PPB, because we have seen approximately 15% of the paper was having formula based questions, not in November but in May 2025. So yes, the scope of asking questions based on the formula, it is there in PPB. And when we talk about the questions, the types of questions which they are asking, they are not at all easy whenever they ask with respect to the numerical questions. Then real life based, again I'm trying to highlight here. Why? Because the banking is your job profile, right? The job profile of yours is what? It is banking only. And if on daily basis you are handling such customers uh, who are operating directly or indirectly in, let's suppose, saving bank account, who are pursuing certain profession, and they want the home loan, or for that matter they want the non-fund based facilities from the bank. So being a banker, on daily basis you are facing such situations which are directly asked in the case study based questions. So these types of questions you should not skip. Only thing you need to do is practice, right? Need to practice. Fine, so till here the types of questions. If you have any kind of doubt, do let me know in the comment section. Any doubt you guys have? Everything is fine? Fine. Now let's see that what should be your preference. Fine. Module wise preference. What should be an ideal preference while preparing for principles and practices of banking? So A, B, C, D. This is the order which you can prefer while preparing for your examination. But in your momentum batch, we will be first covering the module D, then we will move towards module C, and after that solely focus will be on module A and B. because as the exam comes closer, you should be able to know what are the most important modules. They must be fresh in your memory. That's why deliberately we have kept them for the last days. Did we get formula based questions separately for each subject? Yes, Varsha, you can expect the same trend in the upcoming attempts also. AFM, as we know that it is formula heavy, numerical based questions are asked in AFM. But for IE and IFS, as well as your RBWM also, they have asked some formula based questions, right? Not the exact numerical, you can say, but the simple formulas you must know. Special case was PPB, that is your principles and practices of banking. And why it was special case? Reason being that here we often think that fund based facilities, or for that matter non fund based facilities, they are of no use whenever the numerical based questions are being talked about. But in the May 2025 exam, we have seen good amount of questions from the fund based facilities. So that is why I was saying that although every subject has the formula based questions, but PPB is a special case where explicitly you won't find any scope that yes, from here they will ask the numericals. But some hidden topics are there in module B from where they have started asking. So we will not be ignoring such topics at all, right? So this is the process flow of our class. We will be starting with module D, then module C, then A, and then B. Okay, so module D, it is what it is for the ethics in banks and financial institutions. When we talk about units covered, so 51 to 55 unit is for your module D. Banking technology, it talks about the latest digital products also, and the units which are covered under the module, they range between 42 to 50. For module A, journal banking operations, which I was telling you that mostly the deposit schemes we'll be discussing here, the units covered are 1 to 21. And functions of banking, they cover the units between 22 to 41. And if you ask me, the most tricky portion of this entire examination of PPB, it is tricky. It is your module B. Okay, module B is the most tricky one because functions of bank, we feel that they will be simpler functions, but from the very beginning, that is unit number 22 only, you will find the discussion of credit delivery only. And throughout this module, credit will be discussed in an expansive manner. Okay. This is just an overview. We will be going through the specifics also. Yes, Varsha, in the last examination, that is in November, only 2 questions were there in the numerical. But as I was telling you, in May 2025, we have seen 15 questions out of the 100 questions which were based on your formulas. That is the importance of the numerical. Always remember, in the JAIIB examination process, whatever subject you are targeting, you must treat each and every subject as difficult and try to prepare accordingly. Always prepare for the tough difficulty level, right? And the examination of PPB, it is considered tough. Why? Because people are unable to know for sure that from where the questions will be asked. Nobody can tell you that this is a particular topic from where questions will not be asked. 100% questions will be asked from here, everybody can tell you, but from where they won't be asking, nobody can tell. Okay, so now let's move on to the specifics of your modules. Module A, that is journal banking operations. See, here the chapters, you must know that we can divide them into themes. In themes. Why? Because these are scattered topics. If you are a seasoned banker, you have an experience of 3 to 4 years, you can easily find the common topics. Like, we have the topics on the operational aspects of KYC. This is a separate topic altogether, not at all discussed in the upcoming chapters. But as you move towards the cash collection, the clearing of check, then you will find one topic is here, one particular chapter is here, fine, for the cash. Then you will have check also in this particular chapter only. After that, just look here in this particular unit, cash management services and its importance, CTS and NIA. This is more or less what talking about cash as well as your check operations. Then payment and collection of checks and other negotiable instruments. Again, the same theme is there. Responsibility of paying bank, responsibility of collecting bank. Here also check is being talked about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters are having the similar theme. So if you pick such themes and club them together and then start reading, it will make much more sense. Okay. So when we talk about the first chapter, that is your banker customer relationship, mostly you will be having the definitions like what is a bank, what do we mean by a customer, and how the relationship, the interrelationship between these two happens in a particular bank system. Then AML KYC guidelines. Again, we will be talking about the money laundering activities, the terror financing activities, how we can reduce them, and why know your customer guidelines are important in order to curb these types of malicious activities. Operational aspects of KYC, more or less this particular chapter, all of you must be knowing the importance, because in our 6-month training, we have a dedicated time duration where all about the KYC we learn, be it in the staff colleges or staff training colleges, or for that matter in branches. So more or less you will be relating highly with this chapter. Then opening account of various types of customers. Now here various types of customers who are there, like minor or for that matter individual, proprietorship firm, partnership firm, pardanashin women, etc. All these we will be discussing, and how these customers are having certain restrictions to open a type of account. Then operational aspects of your deposit accounts. Since this entire module, journal banking operations, it highly talks about the deposits operations only. That is why you will find reference of deposits in every chapter, not only one, in every chapter, barring the conceptual chapters like your banker's special relationship, where the various rights of the bank will be discussed. Then we move on to forex. So forex also has 2 or 3 chapters. When you club them together, you will find that yes, one more theme emerges known as your foreign exchange. So like here you can see that this is the forex theme for chapter foreign exchange remittance facility for individuals, then for the NRI business, and after that the foreign currency accounts also. So these 3 chapters clubbed together, we talk about the forex in general. Then comes the ancillary services, which everybody must be knowing that how NEFT occurs, what are the nitty-gritties of RTGS, then electronic benefit transfer, how, electronic bank transfer, how it happens, all these, the basics of your digital banking. Then financial inclusion, financial literacy, customer service guidelines, and duties and rights of banker and customer rights. These 3 are very journal chapters. Fine. Even if you have not studied them yet, still after this particular session, if you have the book with you, PPP book, then directly go to these 2 chapters, and additionally the third one also, if you feel so, if you feel like reading in the night, you will make sense out of all the topics. It is not difficult at all. Very generic topics are there. Only thing we have to see or learn is the schemes which are there in the financial inclusion. Then comes the grievance redressal RBI OS scheme, very important. Along with that, CPA Consumer Protection Act and Right to Information Act 2005. So RBI OS, a very important scheme, as I have just told you. But what is important? That is what we will be studying. Right? Anyone can tell you that this scheme is important, but how the questions are asked in the examination, how we will be helping you decipher the right answer, and how the learning which you will make in the entire lecture, whatever we are discussing, after learning all those topics, how you can easily answer the questions from RBI US, or for that matter any of the topics. Okay, so here you have to focus on the various authorities. Fine, what is an ombudsman? RBI has given the authority to whom. Then for CPA, you should know that who will be the adjudicating authority. Appellate jurisdiction, uh, who is the ultimate authority to approach for an appellate case. Then in RTI again, who will be handling which type of case. So all these things we must be learning in all the remaining three chapters. Okay, so theme wise, if we see, more or less it is about the deposits only, but we can categorize them into cash and check operations, certain chapters, forex, some another chapters. One set of chapters will be dedicated to that. Then some journal chapters like your financial inclusion, customer service guidelines, etc. And lastly, the last three chapters for the most important, you can say, bodies who are governing the journal banking operations in our country. Right. Next, let's move on to the module B, functions of banks. Now, although they have written functions of banks, but you will be surprised to know that not much functions of banks have been discussed here. More or less, they are discussing about the credit functions of the bank. Right? Credit functions of the bank. Like the first chapter talks about the basics of lending, what are the different types of borrowers and types of credit facilities. Very basic chapter, but yes, it can be tricky for those who are new to banking, or for that matter, they have not been in the advances section. So we will be starting off with the very basics. You will enjoy learning the entire process of credit with our classes. Appraisal and assessment of credit facilities. So all of you who know about working capital, the working capital cycle, that is the major highlight of this entire chapter. We will be discussing various topics, but ultimate aim will be to define the working capital cycle, because from here you can expect the numericals. So always remember, whenever we are discussing certain topic, so we will try our level best to give you the numerical portion as well as the conceptual clarity also, because you never know, IIBF can ask you either, right, from one particular topic which has the potential of asking the questions based on the concepts as well as the numerical based questions. IIBF can ask you either. So in our classes, we will ensure this thing that you face no difficulty, whether it's about the concepts or for that matter the numerical. Then the operational aspects of loan account, what are the types of collaterals, different methods of charging the securities. For a particular loan, banks need collateral. Why? So as to initiate a recovery mechanism in case the customer defaults, and that we will be learning throughout this credit cycle. Right? We can call it credit cycle, right? The credit process. And once the recovery process is initiated, we will be categorizing the particular recovery mechanism in different we can say segments, and based on those segments ultimately we will recover the funds of banks, right? But what kind of assets we should target? We should target the non performing assets, we should target the stressed assets via the prudential norms, a set of guidelines, rules, regulations given by the Reserve Bank of India. Also in between you will find one chapter as documentation, but if you are very much clear about the operational aspects of loan accounts, you will find this very much easy. Only certain documents will be there which we'll be discussing. Next comes the banking law. Very important. Whenever we initiate the recovery process, based on which law we are initiating, that we must know as an aware banker, and that will be learning here in the important laws related to recovery of dues, debts and bankruptcy act, along with that SARFAESI act. Then comes the technical part. Why technical? Because these contracts of indemnity, contracts of guarantee, bank guarantee, and along with that the laws related to bill finance, plus the TPGs, deferred payment guarantees, all these chapters require you to understand some technical terms. These chapters will take time, right? And this is the reason why we take good amount of time for module B as well, so that from the basics, very very basics, what is guarantee, how the indemnity framework works, what are the laws which govern the guarantees, what is DPG, how it is different from the bank guarantee, and what do we mean by bill finance, why do we need to finance a particular bill, what are the types of bill, and lastly we'll move towards the laws related to bill finance. Okay. Then we have a very important chapter, a very dear chapter for IIBF. Every time they ask one question from letters of credit. So the basic process flow of letter of credit, along with that, the types of letter of credit, both are very, very important. Okay. So mark this chapter highly important. We'll be learning that why letter of credit, we have various fund non-fund based facilities, but why letter of credit, why do we need letter of credit, under which circumstance we need a letter of credit, whether it is utilized in the domestic market only, or for that matter it is utilized only in the international trade. All those questions will be answering in this particular chapter. Then comes a fairly simple chapter, that is personal finance. Everybody knows what is a credit card, home loan, consumer loans, very basic things we will be touching upon. Next, the numericals, which IIBF asks, it is from this chapter also. Priority sector advances, the A and BC calculation. They have asked this A and BC calculation in May 2025 examinations, and this was the primary reason why students felt that the examination was really tough. Okay, so priority sector advances, the master guidelines, you must know, the RBI keeps on updating it. Like in March 2025, it updated the entire agriculture segment of your priority sector lending norms, and in May itself, for the small finance banks, it has updated the overall priority sector contribution, which now stands at 60%. Okay, so one thing which you should learn about module B, that stay updated. Staying updated will help you a lot, right? Wherever you find that yes, updates are required or updates have been done by RBI, or for that matter government of India, chances are really high that IIBF will ask from that particular topic. So start integrating the updated material with the static portion of your syllabus. Then the second important and the most dreadful chapter when it comes to numerical, it is the agri finance. Right? Students find it very challenging, but it is again a very interesting one. When we talk about the Kisan credit card, how the KCC limit is calculated, what is the difference between the first year's limit and how the maximum permissible limit can be attained. The formulas are very, very important. Along with that, we also have certain discussion, certain scope of discussion for the non-banking financial companies as well, NBFCs. And here the most important part will be certain data points only. We won't be talking about the genesis of NBFCs. That will be covering in IE and IFS subject. Here mostly you will find the important data as related to NBFCs. Then comes the micro, small and medium enterprises, MSME, again a theoretical topic, but yes, you need to stay updated with the latest guidelines. Lastly, we have the important schemes, government sponsored schemes, be it the day NRLM and ULM, PMJ, DY, Mudra, or for that matter, some social security schemes are also there, which we'll be learning in IE and IFS also. So certain topics you will find that they are having some overlap with other subjects also. Like here in your PB module B, you will find certain formulas which are there in your AFM also. Okay, but be very much specific to each particular subject. Do not try to mix all the subjects, because then what will happen, you won't be having the scope of preparing in a very focused manner. Then we have the last chapter of module B, self-help group, SHG. The most important part here will be that how we define a self-help group, how the loan program is being run by the NABARD for the SHGs, and when we talk about the maximum loan limit for SHG, what is that? Whether collateral free loans are provided to SHGs or not. When we talk about the minimum loan limit, what is the minimum loan limit? Whether only term loan is provided, or for that matter we can go for the overdraft also. All these basic things you must remember. Okay? So overall, after you study module A and module B, you will be in a position to function in a much better way in your bank. Right? In your branch, you will feel the difference once the entire course is over. So, tentatively, by March or April, you will find yourself in a much better position to handle the customers. Next, we have module C, that is banking technology. In banking technology, simple things are there. Essentials of bank computerization, the genesis of computerization in the banking, operational aspects of the core banking solution, the end of day, beginning of day, the password control. Then we have alternate delivery channels apart from the banking, the core banking being check or the cash management, how the services are offered to the customers. That is known as your alternate delivery channel. So via the digital banking, be the ATMs, or for that matter, we also have the internet banking, or right now we have the mobile banking as well. The turnaround time for each is very important. That will be learning. Next comes the data communication network and the EFT systems. Again, various aspects will be linking the worldwide inter bank with the local banks or the domestic banking structure as well. Digital payment system, the genesis of NPCI, how it started its function, and right now what is its impact on the overall adoption of technology, right? How it has helped us to adapt the uh, overall digital framework in our country. Then security consideration, mitigation measures, the information system audit, how it is done, why it should be done, what are the security threats to our systems. Then an extension of the security consideration is your this chapter, that is operational aspects of cyber crime, fraud, risk management in cyber. What do we mean by fraud? How it is different from crime? What are the important definitions that we'll be learning in the operational aspects of cyber crime? How we can prevent such type of crimes? That is also one of the important aspect. Lastly, all the important recent initiatives in the technology, banking technology, that is the you can say discussion point of your last chapter. Next, module D, the ethics in banking and financial institutions. Although only 5 chapters are there, but if you like to debate, if you like to deliberate, if you like to discuss over the philosophical topics, then definitely you will enjoy learning here, no doubt about that. So we'll start with ethics, business ethics and banking, a very basic chapter which will define that how ethics functions, why ethics is there, and why specifically in banks. Then ethics at individual level, what as an individual you should do, what all values you must possess, how morality is different from your ethics, and when we talk about the corporate values, how they are defined by the individuals. Conflict also will be looking into this chapter only. Then ethical dimensions for the employees. What all ethical dimensions are there? Basically, we'll be focusing on the HRM ethics, the human resource management ethics, which is of prime importance. It will be defining the employees' ethical dimension in a direct manner. Then work ethics and the workplace, how you should work in a particular place. What about the workplace where you are working? Two things that are very much different. What is expected out of you and what you expect from your workplace, or for that matter, what do we mean by the ideal workplace? All these point of discussion we'll be doing in this chapter. Lastly, the changing dynamics of banking ethics. When we talk about the banking ethics, it is just an extension of business ethics, because banking is just another business only, but we will be looking into with much greater detail via the intellectual property rights as well. So IPRs, more or less, that's the point of discussion, that being a human, whether we should share our ideas with others or not, and if we do not share our ideas, should we preserve it with us only? That is a debate which we'll be doing also. And when we talk about module D, its importance is that case studies earlier used to be asked from this module only, but now they ask the case studies not only from module D, but from module A, B, as well as modules D also. Okay, so yes, this was it for your first demo class. If you have any doubt regarding the PPB subject, the overview of PPB subject, feel free to ask me in the comment sections. Okay, any question you have, any kind of doubt? Here is a tentative plan that how you should go or approach the entire examination of JIIB, first of all, you must know that what kind of questions are asked. Then you should identify the easy modules for you. More or less, this plan works for those bankers, those candidates who are preferring the self-study mode, right? Because they have to start from scratch. But if you are attending our class, then no need to, start from scratch, or for that matter, worry for the background of various topics. We'll be covering all the relevant background of each topic in much greater detail, and then integrating it with the static portion. And also be very much relieved when I say this: no need to update yourself with the latest developments, because we will be working that out for all of you, right? So for self study guys who are doing on their own, the people who are watching on YouTube, go through the exam analysis, identify the modules, the preference I have given you, which module works for you or not. Set your targets on regular basis, then try to revise whatever you have read, and lastly go and practice the mock test. That is the normal process which you should adapt while preparing for the JAB examination. But in this momentum batch, we'll be doing what? We'll be taking up the classes 1 to 1 hour 10 minutes. That is the norm initially. Gradually, if we feel that the classes need certain extension, we'll be doing that also. After that, what should you do as a student of our momentum batch? Simply go to the PDF which we'll be uploading, right? We'll be uploading the PDF of the lecture also same day. Within 10 minutes you can access it after the lecture is over. After that, once the PDF is with you, you should try to revise from that PDF. Okay. The PDF is very much handy. You can download it out in the files folder. And once you revise this, I would highly recommend that to make it a habit to revise on daily basis. Right? Try to attend the class live. Always try to attend the live class. The recordings will be available. There is no issue as such. But when you are attending the live class, it gives a signal to your brain that yes, this is the doubt. Let me just resolve the doubt outrightly just now in this particular 1 hour only. And that will be a very big relief, because all you need to do after that is go and revise. No doubt will be there in your mind. Okay. After the revision is done on daily basis, take some days off for your particular second revision. So 2 iteration of revision is a must. So daily revision plus a revision slot must be fixed by you weekly, or for that matter every 10 days also. Many bankers have done this particular task of keeping every 10-day one revision slot. And lastly, try to attempt the mock test, right? Very, very important. PYQs you can skip, because we will be covering the most important topics from the lens of PYQs only. Mock test you should do the unit wise mock. And once you are done with this particular process, I do not think that you will be facing much trouble in the JAB examination of May 2026. Right? So, any doubt, any kind of doubt you have in your mind, feel free to ask me. If there are no doubts, then we can conclude the class. Timing will be this only, right? This is the timing 9 to 10. That is the timing for your PPB. Wagmare Pankaj, what one thing you can do is just re-log in. Right? Sometimes this issue might be there, but once you re-log in, then there won't be this particular issue anymore. Same time, 9 to 10 for PPB, and for IE and IFS, as far as I know, it will be from 10 to 11. RBWM is in the morning slot, and AFM it's I think 7 to 8. So 3 classes in the evening, one in the morning. Fine. Any other doubt? Shiva Sarkar, I hope that your doubt is clear. Shiva Sankar, sorry. So as I can see that RBWM is 7 to 8 a.m. RBWM 7 to 8 a.m. Then we have PPB 9 to 10 p.m. IE and IFS, it is 9 to, no, no, it should be 10 to 11. Yes. Yes, yes, there is one class 10 to 11. AFM is 8 to 9 p.m. Yes. So in the morning, you can start your day with the RBWM class 7 to 8. Then in evening, you will be having back to back classes from 8 to 11 p.m. And all of you who want to join the Telegram group, and it is highly recommended also that you join this group, because I'll be updating various aspects about the classes, or for that matter schedule, on this particular group only, plus any update which is relevant for our examination, that also I'll be sharing on this particular group. Yes, the schedule you can access from your app also. There is one uh, option of weekly schedule on the application. Just click on there and you will find the entire week's plan. Fine. So all of you should join this particular group. I'll be updating about the timings, about the particular changes in timings, if any. Normally, 99% of the time we stick to our dedicated time slots only. But if there is certain overlap between class, then we can change the particular timings also. But don't worry, I'll be informing in advance so that you guys can also plan accordingly. But it is a very rare phenomena. Fine. Any other doubt? Okay. So for now, what I want all of you to know, that since you have joined the Momentum batch, start your preparation with us, and whatever doubts you have, do ask them in the live class itself, so that after attending the class, you are left with only one task, that is to revise. Okay. Revise as much as possible. Okay. So let's conclude the class then, if there are no doubts. We'll see you in the next class. Till then, goodbye, everybody. Take care and see you in the first concept class of Module D. All the best.